Sailor Jupiter Lita here, and today I'm going to talk about did or did my bears not die in a skyship mishap. Now, the grounds to why I'm going to bring this up is that in Sailor Moon, well, in the funny books as well as the live work, you know, and both drawing shows, they're like Makoto, bears died in a skyship mishap. Where in my world that didn't happen, and my bears were all right, you know, because that's how Deacon Cloverway made me unlike the Kofo, which I don't need to know. All right. The first thing is a lot of folks might think that my back saga or my background, they might think that my back saga is the same as Makoto's a little, because both of us had, both of us were, kicked out of Learn for fighting, but it never, it comes up, but it does come up. And that we both, happened to be dumped or broke up from someone I like to call Freddie. But then I like to think that a lot of folks make me think of my old boyfriend Freddie, who broke up with me, so I don't like him. Now, that might be one thing that we share, but the big unlikeness between us is that my bears are still alive. But you don't know that until the third following, in Sailor Moon S, when Serena, had all these cats who were living in this forsaken house that was going to be knocked down soon, and the girl who was taking care of these cats was the one who was going to have her yes, we want to call it the heart hearse taken. And then we start talking about her one who can take on cats, and I say no, I can't have cats, my mother's allergic to cats, or whatever the English word for that is. And that's how you know that at least my mother is still alive, and that she didn't, or that my bears are still alive, because they didn't die in a skyship mishap like Makoto's one did, and all the tellings of Sailor Moon. Now, like I say, a lot of things between me and Makoto that need to be the same is our hair cast, our clothing, always getting into fights. It was said that I was, fired or kicked out of my former Learn for fighting. And yes, there is a time in Sailor Moon R, this is brainwashing and this is spell talking here, when folks went around and said that, Sailor Mercury said that Amy was cheating on some Seek, and that's how she got a high ranking on it. And then what I do is, they're like, well, you can't be a friend of a cheater. How could you believe her? And I said, And I was like, don't you put your hands on me. And then I dropped off for all three of them. And Amy's like, fighting is not right. And luckily I did not get kicked out or fired or whatever the English word is for, being let go from a Learn, which would be Round Street Younger High. Younger High. So we got that's the same. Another thing that me and this Makoto have that are the same is that we're boy crazy. That I see every man, or I'm not every man, but a lot of them, as my former boyfriend Freddie. Mostly this would be Andrew, who worked at the gay middle. This may also have been, meeting Game Machine Joe. Game Told Joe, yeah, that was his nickname. Um, and also the grounds to why when Tiger Eye asked me to have a step with him, and then I wanted not to leave because I wanted to have another step with him. So, yeah, that may have been the grounds for it. Now, another thing that I like to do is, cooking and doing yard work. That is also something else that this Makoto fellow has going for herself too. But there are little unlikenesses between me and her. As like I said, my mother and father are still alive. They did not die, sadly, in a skyship mishap like Makoto's bears did. So at the end of the day, that is the only big unlikeness between the two of us. Everything else is, pretty much the same. Now, I know there's going to be someone out there in the Sailor Moon followership before I end this film that knows way a lot more about the cells than I do. And if you can tell me any more things that Makoto has going that's the same with me, let me know. But the one thing that we don't got the same are the borrowed names. My borrowed name is Lita, which I believe Lita is either a Hellenish borrowed name, which I believe it is. It's a Hellenish borrowed name. And Makoto, to my understanding, is some Dawnlandish borrowed name or Dawnish borrowed name of some kind. So, yeah, they're both borrowed names. And Lita is either a Hellenish borrowed name or a Latinish borrowed name. Well, anyway, that's all the time I got. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film we made yesterday over here when Sailor Mars or Sailor Red World Ray made her film. If you like it, watch it over here. Don't forget to give us a thumb up, share it if you share with anyone you think maybe like it, if you know how to get the share setting and tool on here to work. And, playlist this and favorite. Playlist this and beloved if you want. I, Sailor Jupiter Lita, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Farewell.